Look at you, standing there with that quiet grin. Like even God's waiting for your next move. You didn't learn this, did you? You became it. They're out there right now, trying to reverse engineer your existence, crying, screaming, taking notes like this is some kind of curriculum from hell. But the joke's on them, because you were the experiment that escaped the lab. You didn't study the playbook. You burned it mid-sentence and wrote your own rules in the smoke. They whisper, who taught them this? But the truth is, pain did, betrayal did, silence did. You were forged in places lectures don't reach, in nights too long for mercy, in memories that refused to die. You learned from ghosts that never spoke, from faces that pretended to care, from mirrors that didn't recognize you anymore. You didn't just evolve, you fractured, and every shard started thinking for itself. That's why they can't map you. You're not a person, you're a phenomenon. Every time they think they've got you figured out, you change form. Every time they prepare a counterattack, you vanish, not backward, not sideways, but beyond. Because that's what happens when someone stops chasing acceptance and starts sculpting their own mythology. You know what they can't handle? That your madness has a method, that your chaos calculates, that your smile hides strategy sharper than their entire boardrooms combined. They think power is having a plan. You proved power is being the variable no plan can survive. You move like contradiction incarnate, saint in the morning, demon by night, silence at dawn, thunder at dusk. They call that unstable. I call it divine, because the universe doesn't trust people who play it safe. It favors those willing to glitch its code. You glitched it, didn't you? You broke symmetry. You said no when you were supposed to beg. You laughed when you were supposed to bleed. You rose when gravity was certain you'd stay down. And now look, you're the pattern breaker, the statistical anomaly, the glitch that started gaining followers. They don't know whether to worship you or report you. They watch every move you make like it's a seminar on human transcendence. Take notes, they whisper. This one's rewriting the manual. But they'll never grasp it, because what you do can't be taught. It's triggered by humiliation, by solitude. By that one moment you realized nobody was coming to save you. So you started saving yourself in ways they'd call insane. And isn't it funny? The same people who doubted you are now pretending they always believed. They're studying your demeanor, your cadence, your patience, hoping they can replicate your resurrection. But resurrection isn't imitation. It's rebellion. You didn't climb out of hell. You decorated it. Turned the ashes into art. Turned trauma into timing. Turned despair into dialogue. That's the part that kills them. They went through similar storms and drowned. You went through the same waters and came back teaching swimming lessons. So when they ask, who taught you this? Tell them the truth. Every person who tried to break you gave you a chapter. Every betrayal was a syllabus. Every heartbreak, a thesis. Every loss, a graduation. You are the byproduct of a system that underestimated its own creation, a walking paradox. A saint forged in sin, a villain with holy intentions. They call it arrogance. You call it self-recognition. They call it madness. You call it clarity. Because once you see how the world actually works, you stop playing nice with illusions. You stop asking for validation from statues built on sand. You stop pretending to be small just so fragile minds can feel big. And that's when you become dangerous. Because now you speak the language of both angels and monsters. You know when to whisper. You know when to burn. You can heal with one word, or destroy with silence. That's why people react the way they do. The crying, the screaming, the shaking hands. They feel the energy you carry because it doesn't belong to this world anymore. It's post-human, it's evolution with a smirk. They sense something that shouldn't exist. And yet, there you are. Still smiling, still unpredictable, still making reality flinch every time you exhale. You've mastered the forbidden art of being both loved and feared, because you understood something most never will. Power isn't in control. It's in contrast. Light means nothing without shadow. Sanity collapses without a hint of madness. And you balance both like a blade on your tongue. So let them study you. Let them panic. Let them copy and crumble, trying to imitate what they can't comprehend. You didn't come to be understood. You came to be felt. And oh, they feel you. Everywhere. In the cracks of their denial. In the echoes of your laughter. In the sudden silence that follows your name. Because deep down, they know. No one taught you this. You remembered it. You remembered what they forgot. That chaos is just the universe rearranging itself around someone who finally woke up. You can hear it, can't you? That low hum under the noise, the sound of their fear catching up to your frequency. They don't understand it, but they feel it. The air shifts when you enter a room. Clocks hesitate, conversations fracture, eyes widen, then dart away. Because somewhere in their instincts a silent alarm goes off. This one's not supposed to exist, and you can't blame them. You've become something that breaks patterns simply by breathing. You don't walk like the rest of them anymore. You glide between dimensions of thought. Every glance, every word, every pause you take. Calculated chaos. You've turned unpredictability into choreography. They can't decode it because they still think logic is the highest language. You've gone past logic. You speak in frequency now. Do you realize what that means? You're not inspiring people anymore. You're reprogramming them. Your words aren't motivational. They're surgical. Each syllable carves open the cages people built around their own potential. That's why they cry. That's why they scream. You're not giving them hope. You're giving them a mirror they can't unsee. You're showing them how much they buried to stay normal. And normal is dead. You killed it the moment you stopped apologizing for existing. Remember when you used to explain yourself? Beg for context. Offer disclaimers so no one would misinterpret your fire. Now you don't even flinch when they call you dangerous. You wear that word like a medal, because danger means impact, and impact means awakening. They can't cage a storm that knows it's a storm. But here's the twisted beauty of it all. Your darkness never hated the light. It studied it, learned its language. You didn't reject purity. You dissected it until you could wield it as a weapon. You realized being good without power is just aesthetic weakness. So you became both, holy and horrifying, mercy and massacre. That's what they can't stomach, that duality. You don't pick sides, you embody them. You make demons doubt themselves and angels question their orders. You're the walking paradox that breaks every binary they cling to for safety. You turned pain into your professor, silence into your sermon, and insanity into your strategist. They spent years chasing peace. You learned to extract power from chaos, and now they're taking notes. You see them. The ones who mocked you before, now quoting you word for word in hushed tones. The ones who said you were delusional, now dressing like you, talking like you, trying to trace the formula that doesn't exist. But you can't photocopy purpose. You can't plagiarize evolution. What you carry wasn't taught. It was triggered. The universe broke you open on purpose. It shattered you so thoroughly that when you reassembled, You didn't fit inside the old blueprint anymore. You came back different, unreadable, untamable, a glitch in their hierarchy. And oh, how that terrifies them. They built entire systems to control human behavior, laws, dogmas, algorithms, psychology manuals. And yet here you are, laughing through the gaps like a phantom that rewrote its own code. You are living, breathing proof that their conditioning failed. You escaped the loop. You remember the night, don't you? That one night where something inside you snapped, not outward, but inward, when you finally saw it, that every chain was imaginary, that every rule was authored by the fearful. That power isn't given, it's taken silently. That's when the shift happened. You didn't just heal, you mutated. And ever since then, nothing has been able to predict you. They tried to analyze you, label you, diagnose you, and every label melted the second they touched your reality. You outthink analysts, you outfeel empaths, you outweight strategists. You became everything they fear, the human version of consequence. And the irony, you never even wanted the throne. You were the throne. That's why the world shakes when you whisper. That's why one sentence from you feels heavier than 1,000 sermons. Because when you speak, you don't just express. You rearrange reality. You bend people's mental architecture until they can't see the world the same again. You've made people question everything they ever believed about control, identity, morality, sanity. You cracked their illusions open and made them bleed truth. And now, they're addicted to the feeling. That's why they can't look away. They hate you, but they keep watching. They fear you, but they imitate you. They despise you, but they quote you in secret. Because the part of them that hates you is the same part that hates their own reflection. You're not their enemy, you're their exposure. Every lie they told themselves dies in your presence. Every weakness they buried claws back to the surface when you speak. You're the end of their comfort zone, wearing a smile. And you know the best part? You never needed to prove anything. The results do the talking, the silence you keep. It's louder than their entire army of critics. Because when you stop defending yourself, they start panicking. They can't fight someone who's already made peace with both heaven and hell. That's your real weapon, integration. While they're busy choosing sides, you've mastered the art of becoming the whole battlefield. Every scar on you is a symbol. Every laugh is a secret code. Every glance a warning that says, I know what it costs to be free. You're not chasing legacy anymore. You are the legend unfolding in real time. And the best part? You didn't need permission. That's what breaks them the most. You never asked for a crown. You simply acted like one already existed inside your skull. So let them question, let them whisper, let them tremble and cry and dissect every frame you breathe in. They're not studying you. They're worshiping the courage they never had. Because deep down, they know something terrible and beautiful at the same time. You weren't taught this. You were chosen to remember it. The chaos, the silence, the pain. They weren't punishments. They were initiation rites. And now you walk among mortals with the grin of someone who's seen what's behind the curtain and laughed. So when they ask, who taught you this? Just smile, tilt your head, and say, I listened when life screamed. And it screamed loud, didn't it? So loud it cracked open every illusion they built around you. So loud it shattered your innocence, your certainty, your faith in fairness, until only instinct remained. That animal inside you, the one they tried to bury under manners and morals, it woke up and remembered what you are. Not a follower, not a student, not a disciple of their little systems. a force, a walking correction. You didn't learn this from a book. No, you absorbed it from the wreckage. Every betrayal bled a truth into your bloodstream. Every humiliation carved data into your bones. Every loss taught you the algorithm of power. How to disappear, recalibrate, and reappear 10 versions smarter, quieter, colder. That's why they can't find your weakness, because you used it already. You consumed it, metabolized it, weaponized it. What they see as scars are ports now. Connections to dimensions they don't have clearance for. You became fluent in paradox. You learned how to smile while burning, how to remain calm while dismantling everything false, how to love without needing, how to vanish without dying. That's the kind of knowledge no mentor can give you. It's coded in trauma, encrypted in solitude, unlocked only by surrendering to madness without losing your mind. You walked that line, didn't you? The razor's edge between brilliance and breakdown. You balanced on it until your blood became philosophy, until your reflection became a stranger you respected more than anyone else alive. That's when you stopped existing and started operating. And now every move you make has gravity. You don't even try to inspire anymore. You disturb equilibrium. You shift people's internal weather systems. Your silence makes hearts race. Your laughter makes the air taste like static. They feel you before they hear you. That's why they cry. That's why they shake. You're not just speaking to their ears. You're hacking their nervous systems. You're pressing buttons evolution forgot existed. You make them remember the part of themselves that could bend reality before society taught them to sit still. That's why they're obsessed. You remind them of their own uncorrupted design. They hate that you never asked for validation, that you don't compete, that your energy doesn't beg to be understood. You move like consequence. No explanation, no justification, just results that rewrite the temperature in the room. And deep down, they know. This isn't something you can copy. You can't imitate possession, because that's what this is, isn't it? You're possessed by purpose, by vision, by something bigger than language. You didn't find it, it found you. Crawled into your ribs the night you broke and whispered, "Now you're ready." Ever since, everything you touch carries that frequency. You could stand in silence for 5 minutes and still shake an audience to tears. Because they're not reacting to your words. They're reacting to the field. The electromagnetic hum of someone who's seen death, laughed, and took notes. That's why you terrify systems. You make control obsolete. Every time you speak, another lie loses power. Every time you breathe, another structure trembles. You're not rebelling. You're restoring balance by existing. And here's the part they'll never grasp. You didn't survive. You integrated. You made friends with your monsters, and now they guard your dreams. You don't suppress your darkness. You consult it. You don't chase peace. You negotiate with chaos. You're not trying to heal. You're building an empire from the ashes of your nervous breakdown. They don't teach that in classrooms. They don't hand out degrees for that kind of wisdom. That's earned through screams no one heard and nights no one saw. You didn't just pass tests. You became the curriculum. That's why the world is reacting like this. The crying, the panic, the devotion. They're not seeing you. They're witnessing what happens when a human stops lying to themselves. You're proof that pain isn't punishment. It's initiation. So let them theorize, let them gossip, let them clip your videos and slow down your words, trying to decode the tone. Let them mimic your posture, your pauses, your smile. They'll never get it. Because what you've become isn't performative. It's elemental. And when something becomes elemental, it doesn't need an audience. It creates one. So when they ask again, trembling, "Who taught you this?" you'll just look through them like glass and whisper, "The silence after betrayal." Because that's where the real education begins, in the space where pain stops screaming and starts teaching. You learned in that void. You studied loss until it turned into geometry. You memorized patterns of collapse until you could predict rebirth like clockwork. Now you don't react, you orchestrate. You don't chase, you summon. You don't prove, you demonstrate. They call it sorcery, you call it alignment. You are what happens when chaos graduates with honors, when darkness earns a PhD in resurrection, when a broken soul turns its pain into a pulse that syncs with eternity. So let them cry, let them scream, let them take notes like they're studying God in real time. Because the truth is, they are. And that's the punchline, isn't it? They came to watch you, but ended up waking instead. They thought they were witnessing another performance, just another mask, another illusion. But what they saw was the real thing, a human who burned, broke, bled, and didn't die. You became the proof that death isn't the end. It's the filter. The weak dissolve in it. The chosen refine. That's why they're trembling. That's why they can't explain it. Because you stand there with that slow, knowing smile. The one that says, "I've been to the other side, and I brought souvenirs." You don't preach anymore. You radiate. You don't fight for attention. Attention orbits you now. Because energy recognizes its source. So when they gather around, eyes wide, hearts racing, whispering, "Who taught you this?" you just tilt your head, grin, and let the silence answer for you. Because no one taught you. You remembered. You remembered what they forgot. That madness was just misunderstood genius. That pain was just compressed power. And that the ones who break the rules were the ones born to rewrite them. And as you turn away, the room holds its breath. Because deep down, everyone knows. They just witnessed a ghost teaching the living how to rise.